Well, I had a neighbor come over and he's got a bit for he's got a couple of horses over here. He does some training. And it's a nice little bit. He likes this little bit. And if you don't know what a bit is, it goes in a horse's mouth. And this is basically your stop and steer. So you got spurs on your feet, that's go. But to be able to stop one, you got to have a bit in their mouth, which applies pressure in their mouth. It makes them stop, okay? And when you train a horse, you train them on, different kinds of bits. There's 100 different kinds that you could use. I mean, there's probably a lot of people out there that don't know that I have a lot of experience with horses. And I rodeoed for probably 15 years pretty hard. Did a lot of team roping. So I do know a little bit about what's going on with this whole thing right here. His problem is that when the horse was tied up or gets his head hung up on a fence, a lot of times they like to itch their, when you're sitting on them, they're standing there, they'll itch their head on a fence post. And a lot of times these bits will get hung up on them and they'll bend them. So I'm just backboning them right here. I got some 70-18 1/8" welding rod that I just bent in there to fit, and then TIG welded it all in with some silicone bronze because there's really no structural, pull on this. I mean, this is just gonna backbone this part right here that bends a lot. When it came to me, it was all bent. I've straightened it out, and it looks like I got to straighten out this one a little bit more. But he loves the bit, and a lot of times a horse that, he'll get along with a bit really well and work really good. So what you have is you have the bit, and then this is the bridle here, and this hooks to it. I got it taken off right now because I had to get it down where I could weld on it. But this goes in here, and this is your curb bit here, or your curb chain. So this basically goes under their chin. So what happens is when you pull the shank on the bit, this applies pressure under their chin, okay? Whoops. Anyway, so this curb bit, what it basically does is this chain applies pressure under there. So when the shank of the bit turns, it pushes pressure, and that's stop, okay? So that's your brakes. If a horse is broke right, all you have to do is literally touch them, and they'll stop. But if you get on a wild one, and you're inexperienced, and you don't know what you're doing, you're gonna wish you had that chain on there, because when you get a hold of them and you start to pull them back, that's usually stop. It's crazy how fast a horse is and how agile they are and how strong they are and how much they can do. People don't understand. 1880s, 1890s, they were still riding horses. Everybody's, they couldn't afford a car from anywhere. And pre-Henry Ford, cars were not even really affordable. There was a team of horses everywhere you went. Every day, your great-great-grandpa got up and put a team of horses together to go to town or to go feed their cows or to go work with them all day. They were a tool. And a horse is what's drove our whole world, because they're just docile enough where you can tame them and ride them, and you can make them do things that is pretty impressive, as far as like, you look at all the different events, they have all the different events in the rodeo, first of all, which is the barrel race and the calf rope and the team roping. They do the saddle bronc riding and they do the bareback riding. All those horses are kind of different in their own little world, right? But then you got all these guys that do like chuck wagon races, where they get a team of six horses and race them in a chuck wagon race. You got people that breed hunter jumper horses that are like, literally their backs are like this tall, they're huge, and they jump over these big poles and shit. I don't really know a whole bunch about that stuff, but the reining horses and the cutting horses and stuff like that, they're all trained and bred for that, like a dog. So if you got a dog that you want to go work cows, you're going to get you like a healer or like a hanging tree dog, or, a border collie or something like that. My world was quarter horses. Everything that I used was a quarter horse. So, a nice, stout, athletic, not super big, but just big enough, to do what I got to do. That was my world. And a good quarter horse is good for a lot of things. You can rodeo on them. You can go ranch on them. You can go catch wild cows in the desert on them. You can do anything you want with a quarter horse, pretty much. They're just like the all around. They're kind of like, to me, like the Cummins diesel of the industry of horses. Anyway, that's my my spiel about horses, but this basically is the steering wheel and the brakes of a horse. Just this little piece right here. And, you know, maybe one of these days I can show you how that all works. But anyway, to get back to what I was doing, I just TIG welded some stuff on here to backbone this thing. I'm going to clean it up a little bit because actually their mouth goes like this. Okay, once they go in there, you don't want any sharp edges here, you know, chafing the side of their mouth, because then they'll hate it. And there is a few little edges on here, so I'm going to clean this up and smooth this off really good, and then give it back to old Tom, the neighbor. So that's that.
No, this is great.
Yeah, and then these kind of discolored. I just polished them up so they look kind of.
I don't.
They look kind of good.
Yeah, they look great.
I don't
They look
think
better
it
when
looks
we came over.